Hi, my name is Kanishka and I'm the editor of Professional Beauty Hairdressers Journal. And with me today on PBI Spotlight is international session stylist JJ Savani. Thank you so much for joining me today, JJ.
Thank you for having me as always.
A pleasure. Okay, JJ, so let's begin with a $1 million question. Are you Indian stylist or are you a British stylist or are you both?
It's down to your perception.
Clarify, we need more.
I'm born in the UK,
Okay.
but I resonate and feel more at home in India. However, the British industry calls me Indian and the Indian industry calls me British. So it depends on where you are and what your perception is.
Right.
I believe there's no title or culture or citizenship when it comes to art.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Art knows no boundaries.
Exactly.
But your education in hair has been from India and then you went abroad and studied, or was it vice versa?
So I was born in the UK. My mum had a salon,
Yeah.
and I was helping out there. And then I actually came at the age of 14, 15 to Borivali. The first person to ever teach me to pick up scissors was Harish Bhatia, big boss. So
Right.
he's my guru. I was going back and forth to him for 2 years, and then I went back, and then I also trained at L'Oreal HQ in Parel.
Okay.
उसके बाद I then went back to the UK and I studied further.
All right. So what is it about hairdressing that drew you to it?
To me, it's the content. It's not, I don't look at it as I cut hair. I empower people. When they sit in my seat, the mood they're in, and when they leave is completely different.
Right.
And secondly, it's the best job in the world. You get paid to talk and make people look good. So you get paid to gossip and make people look good. What more do I want? I get paid to do that.
Right. But it requires a lot of training, a lot of
course.
patience and a lot of willpower to be where you are right now. So how did all that happen? Tell us about your journey.
So I started at a young age doing hair. At that time when I started about 20 years ago, there was no real career progression from what I could see where I was based in the UK.
Right.
It was literally open up your shop, have a few people working for me, that was it. So I kind of floated around for about 6-7 years. I then went back to uni, studied management, corporate psychology, did my MBA, did a PG, and then I worked a corporate job in corporate sales and marketing
Okay.
and training for about 8 years. I then decided I no longer wanted to do a corporate job, took voluntary redundancy, and I kind of went traveling for 2 years, on and off, trying to find out what I wanted to do in life. And the only skills I knew was hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I then combined the skills and expertise I had in hair. Obviously I needed to further develop and train myself, and then combine that with the business side and just start to create a brand, and I've been growing from there.
Right. You know something, this is a very inspiring story that you are in corporate world, probably earning a lot more, having a secure job, etc. But you still go back to your calling, you still go back to your passion. And a lot of people in the hair and beauty industry have done that. They have rediscovered or discovered afresh that they are meant for this. Why does it happen with hairdressing? Why is hairdressing not seen as your first career option?
I think culturally, especially being an Indian, it was always looked down upon. People from lower castes, etc., etc. It was always, you would go study engineering, civil engineering or whatever, and you make your way in that way. Ultimately, and it was always that thing you were taught by society that your passion will never pay. It's a hobby, it's a passion.
Yes.
Do it, but do it on the side. Like what I found was I was earning a good amount of money doing corporate work.
Yeah.
And I truly believe if you follow your passion, success will come. I earn a little bit more than what I did doing the corporate world, so I'm happy, and more so, I'm content with life.
Yeah.
I do not feel ever that I've had to think on a Monday morning, do I call in sick and cancel my clients? Whereas a corporate job, every Sunday I'm like, do I want to go to work tomorrow?
Yeah. I know, it's like you live day to day.
Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't happen with hairdressing.
No.
Yeah, so you're very content with your gossiping and your hairdressing.
Exactly.
Cool. So you are called an international session stylist. What does that mean? Please tell our audience.
I'd say I'm called international because I'm outside of India.
Yeah.
Session stylist, everything that happens behind the image of a magazine,
Yeah.
a film shoot, music video shoot, it's everything outside from the chair.
Okay.
So it's everything from the cut, the style, the makeup, the clothing, the finishing touches. It's your job as a session stylist to put everything together to create that end result.
Right. So any particular training is required to do this, or it's your own flair?
It's your own flair, but I would always recommend you need a solid background in hair, men's and ladies. More so ladies, because you rarely ever find there's a calling for a barber when it comes to that sort of work, or a male groomer. it's always a hairdresser, and the hairdresser is able to do the basic minimum of men.
Yeah.
Because what you find is when these male models come on set, they probably had a haircut 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
Because they know they've had the casting. So you're only doing a little bit of like trimmer work and then more so styling. So I definitely recommend a long hairdressing course, a makeup course as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
To understand the
To
final.
understand the core foundation. Now, if you've done a hairdressing course, you're from a hairdressing background, the makeup will come easy to you because all you're really doing with makeup, with session work, is it's like corrective makeup. So you're hiding acne scars, you're hiding imperfections, and this is where the things overlap.
Yeah.
You have a makeup color triangle, and you have the hair color triangle. It's the same thing,
Right.
you know. So there's a lot of transferable skills.
Cool. So you had already aced hairdressing, and then you went on to ace barbering. Why was that? What pulled you to barbering?
I found there was a change coming in the market. So I took that change, embraced it, and focused. Although I did know barbering, I wanted to take it to the next level. Going to soon, understanding how we now incorporate lines and layering and graduation into men's hair rather than just picking up clippers,
Right.
you know. And it was just molding into an overall package where I knew the market was slowly moving to male grooming,
Yeah.
you know.
And then you have aesthetic beauty on your card as well.
Aesthetic beauty,
Yeah.
we've got tattooing, but my core was ladies hairdressing and beauty, to the point where the only time I've showcased ladies hair, especially in India, even though I've been coming for the last 5 years, last week, and so many people are coming up to me, where did you go to learn ladies hairdressing? When did you know? That's what I started off doing,
Right.
you know. So my latest collection, which is coming out, that includes a lot more of ladies hairdressing, long hair styling, avant-garde styling, which is all stuff I do, but I can do, but I get calling from male grooming, so that's what I focus on.
Right. Is it difficult to manage these three verticals? Like, is there a switch in your mind that you have to put on and off?
Honestly, I'd be lying if I said I do a lot of prep. I'm not one of these people that can do a lot of prep.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. I've got a show coming up tomorrow. Do I know what my model looks like? No. Do I want to know what my model looks like? No. I've had a brief picture on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't need to see the hair. I do not know what I'm doing with any haircut on stage until I'm on stage, because I find that allows me, and it works for me. I'm not saying I condone it. I would always say prep as much as, you know, failure to prepare is preparing to fail, right?
Yes.
Totally.
Yes. Yeah.
I totally agree with that when it comes to the business side of me. But when it comes to the creative side of me, I need to be thrown in the deep end, and that's when I find my creativity works the best.
Right. What works for you in the field of education? Why are you so invested in training and education?
I've always come from a training background.
Yeah.
Whether that was my educational and corporate psychology or my MBA focusing on learning and development. When I worked in the corporate job, it was also in a development sector, and I found I've always had a keen passion for education. The way I built myself up in my career was working for various big institutions as an education head.
Okay.
And to me, again, content-wise, is not making money, it's being able to share knowledge.
Right.
I'm one of these people where if you think you know everything, put away your scissors, put away whatever you do.
Yeah.
It's always a learning curve, you know, and I'm strongly an advocate of education. I think that's the only way we're going to be able to push our industry further.
Right. And that applies for every aspect.
Every aspect, of
Yeah.
course.
No matter what you're doing. If
No,
you're doing
exactly.
hair, skin, makeup, anything. You need
Totally.
to continue learning. True. So when it comes to Indian hairdressers, what do you think they're lacking?
Exposure.
What kind of exposure?
On a global level, I've come
Okay.
across some amazing artists, like out of this world, but people don't know about them. One, because they're from the same era as me, where there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, whatever. It was all word of mouth.
Yeah.
Or you'd do your old school, print your publications, your collections, send them to the magazines, etc., etc. There was no email.
Yeah.
Right? So we're from the era where you were known through word of mouth, or your reputation. Now, because we've opened up this vast pool and this tool of social media, everyone's able to be seen around the world. However, that's also opened up that very niche sort of circle to the whole world now.
Yeah.
So to be seen is harder than ever. Although we have the tools to make it easier, that's the thing. And you know, for example, I come across an amazing artist last week. I'm not going to mention his name. He came and worked with me on a project of my own projects. And when I'd heard his work was good, I'd seen his work, but to see him work in person, amazing. But he doesn't get the recognition and reputation he deserves, personally, in my opinion.
Right. But it's something he needs to work on,
Exactly,
right?
yeah, of course,
He needs
of course.
to know how to market himself. So you think for such talent, competitions are a good perspective?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I said, we did Snap and the Modern Barber competition last
Right,
time
right.
for the first time, and I
Yeah.
would love to be a part of it. But we picked up an amazing barber from there, which from day dot when he entered, and I saw he's working the first time, and I'm like, he's got a good chance. He finishes 20 minutes before. I'm like, but he's still got 20 minutes. I'm done. I do not know many barbers, and any of them that say they would, 90% of them are lying, because I wouldn't attempt it. What he attempted on that competition to do in 20 minutes, I don't know many people that would. And he deserved to win,
Yeah.
rightly deserved to win. I remember as soon as he got off stage and he won, he was called by a big brand for a sponsorship.
Yeah,
And that's a big thing at the age of what, 20 something?
absolutely.
But it's only because the likes of yourselves have given stylists that platform to be pushed further. And I think that it's needed. It definitely is.
So I've noticed this, that Indian hairdressers and barbers, they have this reticence when it comes to competitions. They don't want to put themselves out there. Either they're scared of the investment of time or money, or they're not confident enough. So what would you like to say to them?
You have to invest time and money to make money.
Okay.
That's the ultimate fact.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got the big BHAs, for example. You don't get paid when you win.
Yeah.
If anything, it costs you to enter. Collection, mood board, models, photographer.
Everything.
And a lot of stylists I know are like, what's the point of entering this? What do we get out of it? It's broadening that mindset.
Yeah.
You know yourself, winning a BHA, what that can get you around the world. Like, it opens so many doors for you. And it's those doors is where you'll make your branding, your marketing, and open yourself up for more financial reward.
Right.
You know,
Recently I met a few retail owners, like brand owners who are into retail, and their USP was that they appeared on Shark Tank. And they're like, we got investment, but we didn't take them because we just went there for marketing. So now they have that Shark Tank tag on it. It's something that I envision for the industry too. Like, you have the Modern Barber tag on you, that I won the Modern Barber award, and that's why people should come to me. I am that level.
you're at that international level
Yeah.
of expertise. You've been recognized by an international board for your skills and development. So I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk some trends now. What is trending in hair, both for men and women?
Trending in hair right now is a lot more creative colouring,
Okay.
a lot more disconnection of wolf cuts, and people are playing a lot more around with long hair with men.
Long hair for men. Okay, how does that work? Like, are we looking at any particular length?
About chin level and longer. It's coming
Okay.
back slowly. Fashion always evolves every 20 years,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Don't get me wrong, we had the skin fade crops about 3-4 years ago. That were a big thing when I started coming to India.
Right.
People are still now doing it now, but you go to any other show outside of India, they're not doing them anymore.
Right.
They're playing around with longer hairs, or if they want to get very creative, it's a lot more hair art. We're talking a number one all over the head, drawing in patterns, getting in like different colours of paints, and drawing, basically turning your head into a pure art canvas.
Okay. So going back to the long hair for men, does that now involve color as well?
It
There will
does,
be a
yeah.
lot?
It's a
Yeah.
lot more, again, going back old school. They're playing a lot more with lowlights again. Lowlights coming back with a big trend. People are either keeping it natural lowlights or going out there with just creative colours.
And what about women?
Women, again, I'm finding they're playing with a lot more with natural colouring now. A
Okay.
lot more natural looks and a lot more flowing. And if they're going with anything else, a lot more of the wolf cuts. And the bob is slowly coming back again.
Yeah.
The amount of people...
Like the classic one?
The classic one with a few twists. I was out in Chandigarh for the last week. Now, being Punjab, I was out model searching. Being Punjab, where stereotypically you don't cut your hair, right?
Yeah.
I struggled to find a female model with length longer than her shoulders. I think 90% of the people that I interviewed, shoulder length and above.
Oh, wow, that's really
Of course,
progress.
of course, definitely.
Yeah. So that's the kind of trends that we are looking for.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
What are your plans for yourself this year and maybe next couple of years?
Well, for the industry that I already don't know, there's the Savani Academy which opened up, which is covered by PB.
Yes.
We then have our tools coming out.
Yeah.
So our tools will be coming out, one by Savani.
Okay.
They will be coming very soon. I can't give you a date on that yet.
Yeah.
And then we're looking down the route of our own brand of salons. Again, the first one's coming up very soon. Once I'm in a position to announce that, like a lot of people want to say, whether you're British or Indian, all I can say is JJ's over to take over. JJ is back to conquer India. That's all I can say. I've been here 4 or 5 years. It's now my time.
Fantastic. So when you say tools, is it barbering tools or overall hairdressing tools?
Overall tools. I'm not just a barber, I'm a hair artist.
Right.
So we're talking all tools.
Okay. What is this? What is that one particular thing that you look for in your tools when you're selecting your tools?
Innovation.
Okay. What kind of innovation? Like, should we be multitasking?
It's got to be a product that, in short, I do not like putting my name against products which I would not use myself.
Okay.
Because I'm putting my name to it, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's my own product, whether I'm an ambassador for somebody, the honesty and integrity has to be there from a brand point of view.
Right.
And that's one thing I live by. Whether that's my tools, whether that's my work, whether that's my academy, or whether it's my personal life. Honesty, integrity.
Cool. At your academy, what can one learn?
So we've got a basic course on there which teaches you everything from ground level up to senior level.
Okay.
Heavily focusing on lines, layering, graduation, shape control and shape creation. I also run courses for already experienced team members. So if you've already had 5 to 6 years experience and you want to refresh or upskill, we run those courses as well.
Okay. So you are also known for your innovations in the business models. Will that be something you will teach at your academy?
I will do, yeah.
Yeah?
I believe to be a successful stylist is not just cutting hair.
Yeah.
Cutting hair is 30% of it. 70% is branding, business, and mindset.
Right. We discussed everything that you do, and this is the difficult question. Which is your favorite part of your job? Like, what do you enjoy doing the most?
Meeting new people.
Okay.
People buy off people, people work with people. I just enjoy meeting new people, seeing different outlooks of life and looking at different thought processes. It helps me reflect on my day-to-day and it helps me evaluate myself and how I can become better.
Wonderful. And to wind up this interview, what kind of advice would you like to give to aspiring hairdressers and barbers?
Get on the PBHJ page, register for SNAP or the Modern Barbering Competition, showcase your work. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. If anything, you may come out of it and you use it as a tool for self-development. Okay, I did this is what I could have done better.
Right.
Start pushing your work out there. You can sit there and have as much work as you want on your phone or in your salon. It's always going to stay on your phone, it will always stay in your salon, it will never leave there. And you'll be in the same position you were 5 years ago.
So it's time to push yourself.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, JJ. It
You're
was
welcome.
wonderful, as always, talking to you. And on that very encouraging note, that was JJ Savani on PBI Spotlight. This is Kanishka signing off. Stay tuned for more artists.